Today's lesson is how to graph ordered pairs. First, some vocabulary. Grid. A grid is anything that has a series of vertical lines and a series of horizontal lines. A coordinate grid would look something like this, where the grid actually has numbers for each of the lines. Not the spaces, but the lines. Think of the lines on a coordinate grid as the roads that cars can drive on, or ships can navigate through. Coordinate grids are sometimes referred to as a Cartesian grid or a Cartesian plane, meaning a plane, two-dimensional, flat surface that things can be located on. A quadrant would refer to, first of all, the number 4, because quad means 4. A quadrant is a fourth sized section of something. In this case, we're going to be talking about quadrants of the coordinate grid or of the Cartesian grid. The Cartesian or coordinate grid actually extends vertically in both directions, up and down, and horizontally in both directions, left and right. The difference being that when you move up, you're in positive land, and when you move to the right, you're in positive land, whereas when you move down, you're in negative land, and when you move to the left, you're in negative land. These quadrants are assigned numbers. And because mathematicians are oh so creative, they have assigned the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Most of the work that we do in 5th grade is in positive land, over in the positive direction and up in the positive direction, which means we are in the first quadrant, or quadrant 1. But, of course, I'm going to take you into negative land, so we might be going into quadrants 2, 3, and 4 a bit as well. And our last term that we need to know is what an ordered pair is. Well, we should know that a pair of something means that there are two. And in this case, we have two numbers showing the direction over and the direction up, or over and up on that coordinate grid. Ordered pairs always use certain types of punctuation. They always come inside of parentheses, like they're packaged together, and they are always separated by a comma. The first number in the ordered pair tells how far over you're going to go. If you start right at 0. So in this example, how far over we go is a positive 1. So let's look at our purple coordinate grid right here, just working in positive land. If we were to go over 1, that would mean that we would start at 0 and we would travel over 1. Not inside the space, but right along that line. The second number is a 2. That tells how far up you're going to go. Or it could be down if we're going into negative land. But on this first quadrant, on this coordinate grid, it means we would go over 1 first and then up 2 spaces. And I think some of your 4th grade teachers taught you a little trick that's very helpful. First, you go over to your friend's house, and then you go up the stairs to their room to play. For any of you that have played Battleship, this will be very familiar. The game Battleship depends on ordered pairs for you to try to sink your enemy's ship, and only if you land in the correct place will you sink that enemy's ship. So it's using something kind of like a Cartesian plane or a coordinate grid to figure that out. So let's take a look at plotting these different ordered pairs. Draw yourself a model of the first quadrant, or quadrant number 1, of the Cartesian grid, all positive numbers. The vertex of these two rays would be 0, and you can go ahead and number your x-axis and your y-axis. That ended up looking more like an X. There we go. So your x-axis is your over, and your y-axis is your up. Go ahead and label those and number them as well. You should end up with something that looks like this. Go ahead and hit pause if you need to give yourself some time to create that. And don't forget to draw these lines on the grid as well. We've got a 13 by 13 grid, so take a sec to draw that for yourself. We will use this for several problems, so you can take the time to make it look good. Okay, so we've got from 0 to 13 going up and 0 to 13 going to the right. That means that we are in positive land and positive land. Coordinate grids are really useful for finding a location of something, just like Battleship. And astronomers use coordinate grids as well. So do we when we read a map. Lines of latitude and longitude are all examples of coordinate grids. So let's take a look at some examples of what we could do here. Let's say that we needed to plot or draw the point 4, 12 and label it point A. That means over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up from that point 12. So we left off at over 4, and we're going to go up to where we see the 12 and put a point right at that tip of the arrow. Go ahead and do that on yours and label that point A. Now someone might think, well, what's the difference? Like, what does the number order matter? Well, yeah, it does. You can still use the same numbers, 4 and 12, but if you change the order, it's very different. This time we're traveling over 12 and only up 4. Let's plot point B on this coordinate grid. If point C needs to be drawn at 0, 7, that means we go over 0. Well, we start at 0 and we don't travel anywhere. So we stay at 0 and we go up 7. So in this case, point C is going to be right on the y-axis at 7 up. We can also work in reverse order. If we wanted to figure out the values or the ordered pairs for D, E, and F, let's try D first. How far over would we need to get to reach D? Oh, it looks like 8. D is 8 over, so we can write that in. And after we've traveled the 8 over, we go up 9. So that's the second number in our ordered pair. So the coordinate pair for point D would be parentheses 8, comma 9, close parentheses. Go ahead and try E and F on your own. Hit pause and then check back to check your work. Hit pause now. All right, for letter E, we go over 11 and up, it looks like 13. So 11, comma 13 in parentheses. And F, the first number goes over 5, and we went up 1, 2, 3. So 5, comma 3 inside parentheses. So that's all that's expected at the 5th grade level, is to be able to name the coordinate or the ordered pair for a certain point, like we just did, or given the location, to plot the point, like we did at first. Now, let's move above grade level, shall we? Let's go to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quadrants. Negative land. Go ahead and draw yourself a Cartesian grid, or a coordinate plane, or a coordinate grid. Any of those are all talking about the same thing. That has all 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants. We have our x-axis going left to right, and we have our y-axis going up and down. We have positive 1 here, 2, 3, 4. We have positive 1, 2, 3, 4 here. But if we travel down from 0, this is no longer positive 1, it's negative 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we start at 0 and travel to the left, just like a number line, we would go negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Go ahead and extend your quadrants out to 6. We'll use this one for several problems as well, including your task, so make it nice and neat. If you need to hit pause while you continue to fill that out all the way to 6 in each direction, you can hit pause and then rejoin when you're ready. All right, so let's start plotting some points. Lots of 3s and 4s, but if you look carefully, we've got negatives and positive numbers. If you'd like to try this on your own, go for it, and then you can check back. Or if you'd like a little bit of an explanation, you can stick with me here. If you want to do it on your own, hit pause now. All right, so if we are looking at point G as 3 and 4, they're both positive, so we're going to be in the first quadrant here. Over 3 and up 4. Notice that when you plot it, it's right along where these lines intersect. It's like the roads that you would drive on are the lines. And that would be point G. Be sure to label it with a capital G. Moving on to point H, 3 and negative 4 means over positive 3. Now we said over and up, but if we go up, we're in positive land. That must mean we have to travel down to negative 4, and that's where the negative 4 line is. I would be over negative 3 and down negative 4, and J would be over negative 3 and up a positive 4. Notice that we have points in all 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Your task tonight is to find points K, L, M, and N on this above grade level Cartesian grid in the 4 coordinates. Tell what the ordered pair would be and tell what quadrant that ended up being in. You can write Q4, Q3, Q2, and Q1 if you would like. I wonder what you'll decide about letter M. Well, you'll have good debates about it in your discussion groups tomorrow. Enjoy!